What is it like to live alone in Vietnam? How can you live in Hanoi on an average income? Hi, I'm Thao, 29 years old, and I work a regular office job in Hanoi, Vietnam. This is my everyday life. I usually wake up at 8 a.m. and start a new day. I was born into an ordinary family in a rural area of Vietnam, and I now work in Hanoi, one of the country's largest cities. I share an apartment with 3 friends because renting a place on my own is very expensive. The apartment has 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom. The rent is 12 million Vietnamese dong, about $460. When split 4 ways, each person pays about 3 million Vietnamese dong, about $115. This is my room. It is simple and spacious, with plenty of room to relax. The only downside is that it doesn't get much natural light, so I often have to turn on the lights even during the day. But I don't really mind. The room still feels comfortable, and that is what matters most to me. The living room is mostly used for storage, so it's a bit messy. And here is the kitchen. It's clean, fairly new, and has everything we need. Having a beautiful kitchen like this really makes me enjoy cooking a lot more. And finally, here is our bathroom and toilet. It isn't exactly luxurious, but it is very convenient and comfortable. Since it is a shared bathroom, you will see quite a few personal items, but we always strive to keep it clean and tidy. I don't have to work today, so I'm going to spend the entire day resting, relaxing, and learning new things. Come along and experience it with me. Since my parents worked away from home, I spent most of my childhood living with my older sister. After graduating from high school, I moved to Hanoi and began living independently. Since then, I have always had to plan my spending carefully and manage my budget prudently. Even after starting work, I have continued to save a portion of my income to prepare for emergencies and unexpected expenses. Perhaps because I became independent at an early age, I appear more mature than my peers. I always try to start my morning with a glass of warm water. It is a small habit that I believe is good for my health. Summers in Hanoi can be truly sweltering, yet, with the morning sunlight filtering through the foliage and a few quiet moments to myself, everything seems to feel a little lighter and more relaxed. When I was 18, a series of misfortunes struck. My parents divorced, my older sister passed away, and I had to undergo surgery. Goodness, that was truly the hardest time of my life. I suffered from depression for a long time. Eventually, I told myself I had to keep going, that one must endure suffering to find happiness. I strove to earn a living and learn new things every day. I tried to stay cheerful and enjoy life, yet sometimes I still find myself thinking back to that innocent child and the happy family I once had. Alright, let's stop by the supermarket to pick up some food. Although the 4 of us young people live together, we rarely get the chance to eat meals as a group due to our differing work schedules and dietary preferences. I'm quite busy myself, so I usually eat at work or dine out. For now, I'm mostly planning to buy a few snacks. However, if I have more free time in the near future, I'd really love to cook at home and do it more often. It saves money and is healthier too. My room is on the 3rd floor, so climbing the stairs has become part of my daily routine. I like to think of it as a little workout. Since this building doesn't have an elevator, the monthly service fees are lower, so I get to save a little money each month. Have you ever experienced summer in Hanoi? The sunshine here can be incredibly intense. You really have to experience it for yourself. After living here for many years, I've gotten into the habit of wearing long sleeves whenever I go outside. It helps protect my skin from the strong sun and makes the heat a little more bearable. Motorbikes are the primary mode of transport in Vietnam. They are compact and convenient and have become a familiar part of life for generations of local people. I have owned this bike for nearly 8 years, even though it was actually manufactured 15 years ago. This is a large supermarket near my house, about 2 kilometers away. You can find almost anything here, from food and drinks to clothing, kitchenware, and much more. First, I'll take you on a tour of the section of the supermarket I like best, the kitchenware department. This pan cost 219,000 Vietnamese dong, about $28 and 42 cents. A small bowl costs 39,000 Vietnamese dong, about $1.50 USD. This small sunhouse pot costs 309,000 Vietnamese dong, about $11.77 USD. This wire basket cost 109,000 Vietnamese dong, about $4.15 USD. This small blender costs 549,000 Vietnamese dong, about $20 and 91 cents. Let's see what else is interesting. Oh, there's discounted fruit here. A tray costs only around 20,000 to 50,000 Vietnamese dong, about 76 cents to $1.90 USD, though the fruit is a bit past its prime. Alright, let's go buy some food and bring it home. I plan to buy some fruit-flavored cheese, instant noodles, yogurt, a few cartons of milk, and some ingredients to cook lunch. First, I chose this Japanese fruit-flavored cheese. A box costs around 80,000 Vietnamese dong, about $3.05 US. After that, I stopped by the noodle display and picked out 2 types of instant noodles popular in Vietnam, priced between 4,000 and 10,000 Vietnamese dong, about 15 cents to 38 cents USD. Instant noodles are very convenient and, importantly, cheap. On busy days or when I get home late, I can easily prepare them for a meal. There are many types of yogurt on the market, but I usually buy TH yogurt. I like its flavor. It is neither too sour nor too sweet. It costs around 33,000 Vietnamese dong, about $1.26 USD. I also choose TH milk. I like supporting a Vietnamese milk brand. It costs around 35,000 Vietnamese dong, about $1.33 USD. Finally, I headed to the fresh food section and the vegetable counter to pick out ingredients for lunch. This tray of stuffed tofu costs about 59,000 Vietnamese dong, around $2.25 USD. There's enough food for me to cook once and split it into 2 meals. This small cabbage costs around 12,000 Vietnamese dong, about 46 US dollars, and is enough for 2 meals. Now that the payment is done, let's head home. In Vietnam, rice is not merely a staple food, but an integral part of culture and daily life. Most Vietnamese families include rice in their meals, whether for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. A typical meal consists of rice accompanied by a few savory dishes, vegetables, and soup, all arranged for everyone to share. However, as I often dine alone, I prepare just 1 or 2 simple dishes that are rich in the flavors of home. Have you ever tried Vietnamese food? If so, what's your favorite dish? Even though I was born and raised here, there are still so many Vietnamese dishes I haven't tried yet. I hope we can discover more of them together in future videos. Whenever I cook, whether it's a simple meal or something a little more complicated, I always try to recreate the flavors of the dishes my parents used to make. When you're living away from home, you start to miss little things like that. Sometimes, all the homesickness is wrapped up in the taste of a familiar meal. Whether cooking at home or eating out, I usually spend between 40,000 and 50,000 Vietnamese dong per meal, equivalent to about 1.50 to 1.90 US dollars. In Vietnam, napping after lunch is a familiar part of daily life, even if it lasts only 20 to 30 minutes. People believe this brief rest helps them recharge, improve their concentration, and feel more alert for the remainder of the day. The habit is so widespread that offices, schools, and even small shops often become noticeably quiet during the lunch break. For many Vietnamese people, a short midday nap is a simple yet important way to maintain balance throughout the day. I'm going to do a little bit of training now. Recently, I noticed that I'd gained a little weight, going from 44 kilograms to 48 kilograms, so I decided to use some of my free time to exercise. In Vietnam, many people enjoy going to the gym, and it's also common to see people jogging or exercising in parks. As for me, I prefer following YouTube workout videos at home. It's more convenient, and I can work out whenever it fits my schedule. I usually exercise for about 30 to 45 minutes. After each workout, I spend a few minutes stretching and meditating. Stretching helps my muscles recover and relax, while meditation helps me slow down, clear my mind, and reduce stress. It's a simple routine, but it always leaves me feeling refreshed, peaceful. The workout is done, and so is my little moment of peace. Now it's time to catch up on some housework. Alright, let's do the laundry. The washing machine came with the apartment, so I didn't have to buy one. It's very simple to use. Just select a program and press start. It definitely makes doing laundry a lot easier. Right beneath my apartment building lies a small communal area where people often gather to enjoy the fresh air. I frequently see elderly neighbors playing chess, a few others taking leisurely walks for exercise, or people simply sitting on the stone benches, savoring the cool breeze. I truly love spaces like this. They remind me that enjoying life doesn't have to be tied to luxury or extravagance. Sometimes, the simplest moments are more than enough. Now, let's go find something to eat. My top choice is banh mi. Banh mi is one of the most popular street foods in Vietnam. It consists of a crispy baguette filled with ingredients such as cold cuts, butter, pâté, pickled vegetables, cucumber, fresh herbs, and chili. A banh mi usually costs around 20,000 to 35,000 Vietnamese dong, about 77 cents to $1.35 USD. Depending on the filling, banh mi is both delicious and widely available. For many Vietnamese people, banh mi is not only a quick and satisfying meal, but also considered one of the souls of Vietnamese cuisine. The evening is my favorite and most relaxing time of the day. During the daytime, the people I live with are usually busy with work, so we don't get to see each other very often. It's only after we all return home in the evening that we have time to catch up. We sit together, share stories about our day, or simply enjoy a few quiet conversations. It's a small part of the day, but it's something I always look forward to. I wondered if anyone would watch these videos, or if people would find them too ordinary. But then I realized that if I never tried, I would never know. So I started learning everything I could. I spent time watching videos, reading, taking notes, and thinking about the kind of stories I wanted to share. In the end, the answer was surprisingly simple. I don't have a perfect life, and I don't want to pretend that I do. I just want to share my everyday life here in Vietnam. The small routines, the quiet moments, and the little things that make me smile. I don't know where this journey will take me, but I'm happy that I finally had the courage to begin. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again in my next video.